The questionnaire activity can be used to survey the students' ideas. You can develop a questionnaire to gauge the opinions of the students on the course or material. This can be a very helpful tool in ensuring that the course is taught as effectively as possible. To create a new questionnaire, make sure that the editing is turned on. Then, click the Add an Activity pull-down menu and choose the questionnaire activity. The first options you must input are the name and summary of the questionnaire. The summary should be something descriptive, like the purpose of the questionnaire. Next, choose when the questionnaire will be available. Click the check boxes next to the open and close dates to limit when the students will be able to take the questionnaire. Set the pull-down menus to the desired days and times. Next, choose how often the students will be able to respond to the questionnaire. The default for this says Respond Many, which means the student will be able to respond as many times as they wish. You may choose a different option from the pull-down menu if desired. There is also the option to make the questionnaire anonymous by changing the respondent type. The additional options here are detailed in the written tutorial. For now, the basic options are set, and so we will now click Save and Display. To add new questions to the questionnaire, click the Questions tab at the top of the page. There are numerous question types that can be added to the questionnaire. Choosing a question type from the pull-down menu and clicking Add Selected Question Type will create and add a new survey question to the questionnaire. We will sample the essay box and radio buttons to give a simple example of creating questionnaire questions. For further detail on adding other types of questions, check the written tutorial on the PolyLearn support site. To add the essay box, choose it from the pull-down menu and click the Add button. The question name is not needed to create the question, and will only be used if the question is exported. Set whether response to the question will be required. The text area options are there to set the size of the text box. If you leave the boxes blank, then there won't be a limit on the size of the box. Next, the question text must be entered. This is the question that the student will need to answer. Once done editing the question, click Save Changes, and the question will be added to the questionnaire. To add the radio button question, choose it from the pull-down menu and click the Add Question Type button. The question name is not needed to create the question, and will only be used if the question is exported. Set whether response to the question will be required. You can choose how the radio buttons are listed, but if no selection is made, the choices will be shown vertically by default. Next is to add the question text. This will be the question that the student will answer. Next, add the possible answers. The answers must be entered one per line for PolyLearn to make them separate options. After all of the options have been set, click Save Changes to add the new question to the questionnaire. These are just 2 of the 10 different question types that can be added to a questionnaire in PolyLearn. For more information on question types, refer to the written tutorial on the PolyLearn support site.